computer.
Hey everybody, Andrew Fox here and welcome. Today I'm joined by Steve of the Zapable team, as many of our customers will know, Steve and Dave and very well. You guys are always talking on the customer support, and most recently Dave has been chatting to a lot of you with the Premier program. So today what we're doing is we're running a white label blowout sale, and I just felt, Steve, look, why don't we just jump on the call and just take people through this video? It's only going to be 5-10 minutes long, and really just show them around why the white label is so powerful and why members that tend to have the white label tend to be making most of the app sales. So we have noticed a linkage when Chris and I were discussing and analyzing our stats. So Steve, do I have you on the line?
You certainly do.
Well, that Scottish Angus beef looks pretty tasty, actually. So looking forward to this. So yeah, if you want to basically show us, just take us through the features. What I'll do is I'm going to turn off my camera just so people can focus on the screen, but I'll turn it back on at the end when we're finishing up. So everyone, this video will literally be 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can decide if white label's for you. So yeah, Steve, just take it away.
Okie dokie, let's go. So I've got my own Zapable Builder account open, and I've got a white label option here on my account, as you can see. So we'll just have a quick look at the settings page here for this. So what I've got is some basic details in here about what my white label is called, where the white label is actually accessible from. I don't have a support link in there, but you can add that in. We've got our application name for Android and our bundle ID for iOS. So what this is going to allow me to do is to create like a duplicate of the actual Zapable app builder in a white label form that allows me to log in and allows my customers who I build apps for to be able to log in and access those apps too. So if I go to...
And Steve, just to make that really clear for people, so without white label, if you were to build an app with Zapable and the client wants access to the app, it's going to be under the zapable.com domain, correct? Which means they can then go to Zapable and see what the app's being built with.
They can, yeah. So this sort of hides all of that and makes it look as if it's your own creation and your own system and setup.
Perfect. So it can be on, like, stevesmarketing.com or stevesappbusiness.com, whatever it may be, and they have no idea what you build the app with, which is super powerful. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, no, that's the beauty of it. It's like I say, it hides any reference to Zapable and leaves it no sort of question in your customer's mind that it's your own system. So in the top corner here, if it's not clear totally, I've just highlighted there, the address that we're on right now is builder.emacademy.xyz. And if I just quickly log out of this account here, so it looks like the Zapable login, except we've got one key difference here, which is going to be this business logo here. So you can replace this with your own personal branded logo, whatever it is that you use for your business, to keep consistency with your own main website and then where your customers are going to log in to access the app builder. There's also another little one here where we've got the favicon. So again, that's just to add in further branding to sort of further convince really that this is your own system and your own setup.
Steve, so I'm going to just interrupt you because I've thought of a great bonus. If people want to get in this sale, okay, if you do not already have a logo or a favicon, we will design your logo for you. So that's a really good bonus. Like, logos can cost easily $100 to $300 for a good logo. This will be a bonus. So there we go, some incentive for them.
That's quite the incentive, yeah. I know, having worked in graphics, that logos can be very, very expensive. So that's quite a nice touch. So yeah, let me log back into the, I'll go back into the main Zapable account here. First of all, I'll go into the user panel. So if I go to white label and then user management here. So what I've got is I've got 4 different types of account here. I've got the first 2, which one is florist and one is butcher. So those will link to each of those individual apps. I've also got one here for a VA, as we work online. A lot of us will have a VA of sorts who will run a lot of errands or complete a lot of tasks for us on a day-to-day basis. So I've got an account for that person. And I've also got one for a push notifications account to show you the difference between what these will show you as opposed to what the push access will give you. So if I go to edit the florist one, so this is how it looks when you add a white label user to the account. So we've got their details at the top. We've got the ability to select their role. Now from here, we can choose manager or push access. And in this case, I'm going to be using the manager role. And I'm granting this person access to just the florist app. So nothing else, just this one single app. So imagine this was a customer of mine who had built an app for a florist. I'm giving the florist themselves the ability to log in and manage their own application.
And what's great is, let's say they have maybe a few different companies and stuff, which can be the case. You can just literally add that tick box, Steve, and that will add access to those apps to manage just in one click.
Yeah, it's literally just tick and it will appear. And I'll just show you how quick that actually happens on the front end in a second. So let me grab the florist logins from my other screen. So I pop that in there. Password and sign in. So you can see there right now, it's just got the florist app. And you were saying about, allowing more access. The VA role that I've got in here does have more access. But let's say that they owned the florist, they owned a bed and breakfast, and they owned a dental. So I'm just literally just check the boxes. You can see the screen flash with a reload. If I go back to here and refresh, obviously this is in real time. Those apps have just been added, and it's the same for taking them away. You just uncheck the boxes, and then with a refresh, those apps are gone. Awesome. So this behaves just like your normal app builder does. So if I go in and manage, so with the manager role, they can go in, they can see the app, and everything looks just like it does for you as the main account holder. They can go in and access the features. So whatever features you've got added to your app, they can go in and they can go in and make an edit. So we've got a custom page here with hello. And if I add a text box in here, they can put literally whatever text they want to add into this section here. We can save it. And we update the app. And that will bring through all those changes just in real time, just as if they were on the main builder account. So like I say, that's access for an individual business. As you can see, that would be super powerful. There's no reference to Zapable anywhere. You've got your own logo, you've got your own favicon, all that good stuff. So let me just log out of this one and show you the VA one, so you can see again with multiple accounts. So
yeah, it's quite great the way we've developed this white label, Steve, because there's multiple different options here, from manager to VA to push notification. That's what makes white label so powerful, that they can do all these different things.
Yeah, I say we all know the importance that a VA can play in a business to take those tasks off you. And if they're dealing with your app clients on a day-to-day basis, they can be handling all these changes without even that coming across your path in terms of work that you've got to consider. They can just handle all these updates as required. So I'm in the VA account now. You can see we've got access to the Butcher app that we had at the very start of the video. If they want to go back and change to a different app, let's say the dental one, they can go in and they can manage that and just go in and make whatever changes they need to do, inside the actual application here. So that is, like I say, super, super powerful. And it's one that once customers get the white label set up, seeing it on the help desk, they just can't sing the praises high enough, because it really does give them a huge set of additional options for their clients, for themselves, for pricing models, to give the business owner access to their own apps. They can charge a monthly fee to allow for this access. So lots of things that you can consider. And I'm sure Dave has touched on a number of this in training things that he's done over the years, and in the Q&A sessions we've done, this has all been covered. So it's a great way to upsell a business into buying an additional service where they can manage their apps themselves. So if I go back to the main account here, you might notice that some of the colors are a little bit different on here as well, which is one of the next things I want to touch on here. Is like the button might be a slightly different green. So if I go back to the homepage of the Zap one here, you can see that these are quite a light colored green, whereas in my one, they're a dark colored green. Well, if I go into the actual page itself here, you can see that I have sort of an almost bluey gray kind of color. These are all things that you can customize from within the white label customizer. So by default, this doesn't show on the white label side. It only shows on your main account side, because you don't want to show the customize button on your actual side, because your customers would see it. So everything like that is kept on your main account. So if I go back here, I've got White Label enabled and set up. So I've got this blue button in the corner, says customize my editor. And from here, I can change my logo. I can change my favicon. And it's just as simple as clicking on send your logo and then finding the logo from your computer. So I'm just going to change this one from a blue one to a yellow one so you can see the change happening. So there's my yellow logo. And let's update that and then send your favicon. Let's change that as well to a yellow one.
It's great the way, Steve, it really is point and click easy. Like no programming, no experience. If you can move a mouse and click buttons, it's easy.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. And we can see that's just happened instantly, real time. The logo is now yellow. The favicon now yellow up here as well. You can see the old one just next to it here is blue. If I go back to our white label area here and refresh the page, you can see that that has changed to yellow and the favicon now has also changed to yellow. But as I said, you've got some nice features here where you can change sort of generalized colors, again, based on the theme of your business. So if we want to change the background area from a gray, we're able to adjust that. Again, depending on what we need, we can adjust it using this color picker, or we can put in a hex code if we've got something specific we want to use. So if we wanted to put a hex code in, we could copy that in and go to 0, which is black, or we could change it to white. It's entirely however you want to do that. So I'll flick it back to just an off-white here. Again, for the options here, you've got the ability to choose the style of blue, the style of red, the style of yellow and green. So you can adjust these to more suitable colors for you, and you don't have to choose green. You can choose a completely different color if you wanted to that doesn't match up with that. So we've gone from green here now to almost a black color, and you can see these buttons over here have taken on that color. So whatever was using that is now using your new choice of color. And again, you can update the text in here as well to whatever you want. So let's say you wanted to use more of a green text on a black background. It's as easy as sliding that slider around and making the change. Just make sure always to hit that save button at the end. Like I say, we're on our main Zapable account now. So if I flick back over, and if I go back to the dashboard page here, you can see that's already taken effect with a grayish background and those buttons have been updated. So really, really simple stuff.
And then I think, Steve, another great option is that you can set up like white label access for the client for push notifications. But what's really powerful about this is you are able to basically, we would always recommend, say if you're selling push notifications, because they are a big selling point, make sure that you're charging the client a monthly fee, okay? You can then, you have two choices. You can either send the push notifications for them, or you can give them access to this, which Steve's about to show you, where they can send the push notifications themselves. Now, here's the thing. Say they decide to stop paying you for whatever reason, or their invoices are a bit slow. Well, Steve, you can literally just click a button, can't you? And you can just disable their access.
Yeah, we can. We can go into, if I close this white label editor here, let's go back into the account and go to white label and our users. So let's say that the butcher, as you said, was a bit slow paying the invoices and we want to restrict their access. We can go in and edit this here. And again, we can go in and just uncheck their access. And then all of a sudden, once this user tries to log back in, they won't have any apps visible for them to manage. So if I just demo that quickly here with this one, so if I log out here and log in as the butcher, you can see now that the butcher signed in. There's no apps for them to manage.
Like, where did my app go, Steve? And you're like, oh, you just need to pay your invoice.
Yeah, once we settle the bill, everything's back to normal. But yeah, it's that easy to give them access and to restrict access.
Yeah,
very
that's
nice.
great. And I think one of the other things that we haven't touched on is if we build a progressive web app where they have the link would be like zapable.co/PWA. But obviously with white label, you can now put that on your domain if you want to show that example.
Yeah, so with white label, what happens is by default, it takes on your white label URL. So if I just go back here to the white label section and go into one of these apps and into the white label settings. So this host name that you supply here in this field here, this is where the base of your URL is taken from. So whereas the Zapable apps themselves will take on, let me go into the actual PWA page here. Go to plugins, to PWA creator. So you can see here there's a structure to this particular URL. So it's zapable.co/pwa app, and then you have the app ID here, followed by index.html. So we're on the Butcher app here. If I go into this account here, now I've restored the access, I go to Butcher, go to manage this particular application, go to plugins and the PWA creator. You can see that URL now has taken on the white label part of my URL, so builder.emacademy.xyz. And all of the apps, when they're accessed through the white label, will show your white label URL as the first part of the URL string.
And so, also, just to give people another option, you can also map a domain to that link. So, for example, let's say the Butcher was in Brighton in England. You could have a domain butcherbrighton.com or .app, whatever you want, and then that could map directly to the domain as well. So again, full flexibility within Zapable to do that.
Yeah, no, that's an added bonus to further brand that particular business and that particular application, to use that very custom URL you mentioned there as well. So yeah.
Fantastic, Steve. Well, anything else you want to highlight there, or is that a good overview of the white label?
Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers it. Like I say, there is a role for push notifications as well. The manager can send them from here, or if you've got the push role, it means that they can't actually go in and edit any of the features, but they are able to go in and send push notifications from the sender here again. And again, no reference to Zapable. This is just pop in your title of your message, your push message. If you want to use a URL to take them to once they've clicked on the push notification, you can do that as well. Add an image here. But like I say, this app has the ability, if I go into features here, they can edit any of these features. But if the role for the Butcher was actually one where they only had the ability to send push notifications, instead of the manager role in here, we switch this from manager to push access. And let's click save. So when we refresh this now, you can see that all of these have sort of no entry signs on them, which means that these are unable to be edited.
Yes.
But they still have the ability to go into the push sender here and send the push notifications out for this particular application.
Fantastic. So it means for the client then that you can either sell them on access to manage their own app, or access for the push notifications, or you could do a special offer where you could say, look, I'm going to charge you this much that gives you full management of the app, and we're going to give you push notifications for free if you sign up today. So you can use these features within Zapable, Steve, to upsell people or get that deal across the line.
Yeah, definitely. And as you can see, it can be a very, very powerful feature to have as an add-on for your app builder.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to switch my camera back on here. Hello, everybody. Can you see me okay there, Steve?
I can indeed.
Well, that is, thank you for showing that, Steve, and taking us through the Zapable White-Label. As you can see, everyone watching this, it's an immensely powerful upgrade. And at the time of recording this video, you can get access to over 50 licenses or unlimited licenses, which we very rarely do, for rock bottom pricing. So it's a special offer, and it's a one-off fee. Okay, so the white label upgrade is a one-off fee. The only recurring you pay will be obviously your app subscription builder as per normal. But for this white label, once it's on your account, it is on it. Okay, so with that being said, Steve, we'll close this down and we'll send this out to everyone, and they can make the decision if they want to get the white label. And the bonus, we will also, if you want, and you don't have a logo, we will design the logo for you. So you don't even have to think about that. We'll just send you a quick form to fill in, and we'll handle it for you. So that's a pretty good deal. So Steve, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
And yeah, if you want to close down now, that would be great. See everybody soon. Bye.
Bye.